DOGE as an organization is a rebrand from the Obama administration. DOGE is not new. President Trump is not the first president to deliberately try to track down fraud, waste, and abuse in the federal government. 123.08%. What does this tell me? We are over leveraged as a country. We can understand this when it comes to our personal finance, but we can't understand it when it comes to the federal government. You guys do recognize that governments can file bankruptcy. DEI and the small business programs are not synonymous. These programs are not going away. Welcome to my channel. My name is Dr. Curtis A. Merriweather Jr. You can simply call me Dr. Kurt. I got another one for you today. We want to talk about DOGE, the Department of Government Efficiency. If you don't know what I'm talking about, I want you to watch this brief video clip and I'm going to react to it.
And rising levels of uncertainty for government workers. Billionaire Elon Musk doubling down on his DOGE drive to slash federal spending. ABC's Selena Wang is in Washington with details now on what's ahead this week. Good morning, Selena.
Hey, good morning, Gio. Yeah, federal workers are getting even more anxious and confused. Thousands have already been laid off, and those who still have their jobs are now getting yet another email asking them what they did at work last week.
Now, I don't understand why this is a big deal. If you've ever worked in corporate America, it is not uncommon for you to be asked by your supervisors and the management team what you did the prior week. When I worked for the Department of Defense, I worked for an organization called the Space and Naval Warfare Systems Center. They have since been renamed to the Naval Information Warfare Center. We had to submit a weekly war report, a weekly activity report as a government employee. Now, I left government service almost 15 years ago. I left in October of 2010 to be exact. So I am not sure why there's so much outrage around this issue, but let's let them cook.
Elon Musk says if they don't respond, they'll be fired.
This morning, federal workers bracing for more layoffs as they receive a second wave of emails demanding they list 5 tasks they completed at work last week by Monday night. Elon Musk saying those who fail to respond will be fired. Writing on X, the president has made it clear that this is mandatory for the executive branch. The email doesn't include Musk's threat, only adding to the confusion. It's the latest push from Musk's Department of Government Efficiency to dramatically slash the federal workforce. The Department of Education giving workers a Monday deadline to accept a payment of up to $25,000.
Wait a minute. You're going to give me $25,000 to voluntarily resign? The last one, they were given 8 months of pay, but let's keep going.
To voluntarily resign or retire, according to a memo obtained by ABC News. And the Social Security Administration, which provides key benefits to older Americans, saying it plans to cut 7,000 workers.
Only the federal government could get away with this level of waste.
Secretary of Defense Hegseth telling workers to comply with Musk's order as the Pentagon braces for thousands of layoffs any day now. This 30-year veteran currently works.
Now, when can you not comply with the wishes of the front office? When can you not do that? Musk has been empowered by the President of the United States. It's almost as if the C-suite, because we know that the presidential office is the executive office of the federal government. This is almost akin to the C-suite issuing a directive from the top down. But let's keep going.
Working for the Army Corps of Engineers, tells me he started the hunt for a new job.
We've sat up here and put the sacrifice out. It's almost like a slap in the face. Like we don't even matter, we don't count.
Are you worried that all these changes could impact our country's military readiness?
Definitely.
This federal worker who says he was recently fired from the General Services Administration rebuking Musk.
Now just incredibly terrified and scrambling to find new jobs to keep the roof over our head and, feed our little one.
Now, I am not insensitive to what's happening right now, but our brothers and sisters in corporate America have went through this time and time and time again. President Trump is not the first president to deliberately try to track down fraud, waste, and abuse in the federal government. But see, I want to be very objective. See, on this channel, I don't want to just give you conjecture. I want to give you objectivity. So I'm going to pull up very quickly. I'm pulling up now the U.S. debt clock. This is a nonprofit organization, is usdebtclock.org. And I want to look at a couple key parameters that I have not been hearing in mainstream media. We have a $36 trillion deficit. Again, I want you to go look at this in your own time. The link's going to be below this video in the description box. We got a 36 trillion, 549 billion, $795 million debt. I want that to sink in. Now, if you can see on my screen, there is something called the U.S. debt to GDP ratio. I want you to think about this as akin to debt to income ratio. When you're going to make major purchases, you're buying a house, you're buying a car, the loan officer and or the bank, underwriting division, the people who are determining your credit worthiness to get a loan because they want to be paid back. They're going to look at your debt to income ratio and they're going to give you some parameters around what is a healthy debt to income ratio. If we look at our current debt to income ratio in this country, we had 123.08%. Let me say this again, 123.08%. What does this tell me? We are over leveraged as a country, meaning our ability to service our debt is slipping away quickly. I'm actually surprised we haven't already defaulted on the debt. Now, I know you're going to say, well, Dr. Kirk, you can print money. The federal government can print money. But the more we print money, this goes back to basic economics, supply and demand. The more you have of something, the less value it has. That's why we don't have quarter bread anymore like they had back in the day. That's why the gas prices are escalating. When there's too much supply, demand decreases and the value goes down. That is why we cannot continue economically. We cannot just have runaway spending and money printing, which they call quantitative easing. If you were talking to your banker and you showed them a debt to income ratio of 100%, they would look at you and say, sir or madam, you've got to get your spending under control. But it's amazing how as a people group, we can understand this when it comes to our personal finance, but we can't understand it when it comes to the federal government. You guys do recognize that governments can file bankruptcy. States can file bankruptcies. Countries can file bankruptcies. Cities can file bankruptcy. Look what was happening in the headlines with Chicago, New York, San Francisco a while back, the state of California. Come on, guys. We have to be objective. I never want to see anyone lose their job. I don't want to be insensitive at all. But how do we wrangle and get our debt to income? They're going to call it debt to GDP ratio, debt to income ratio in check. How do we do that if we don't cut spending? Now, I want to share one other thing as well. I want to show you that DOGE is not new. Many of you guys are saying Elon Musk is the president of the United States. I get it. But I want you to see that DOGE as an organization is a rebrand from the Obama administration. It was called United States Digital Service, Section 3 of the letter you see on your screen. This comes right from whitehouse.gov. DOGE was reorganized and renamed the United States Digital Service. This was the same group when we were doing affordable health care under the Obama administration, and we were having problems with the healthcare exchanges. They stood up the U.S. Digital Services. That group, which has been instantiated by executive order under President Obama, it has now been renamed, reorganized, rebranded under President Trump as DOGE. So this is not a new agency. It is a rewrite and rebranding of something that was old. They modernized it, gave it a couple more functions. Think about it as the IT office for the federal government. It's the IT office for the federal government. So this has been instantiated in law. And another thing I want you to be mindful of, as of July 4th, 2026, this organization goes away. It says right here under Section 3B, it says the U.S. Department of Government Efficiency, also known as DOGE, Service temporary organization shall terminate on July 4th, 2026. So this is not planning to be here for a very long time. Now, I want to say something. If you've ever been through an organizational overhaul, if you've ever found yourself in one of those, companies go through this all the time. They lay off workers. They work to get their balance sheet and their profit and loss statement back in check for the health, vitality, and ultimate welfare of the organization. In this instant, it happens to be the federal government. In an attempt to make the federal government more efficient. Now, one of the things the federal government did back in February, that bill is now off the table. As of February, they were giving 8 months pay for people to voluntarily resign.
Federal employees leave your job and get 7 months of pay. The White House announced a buyout to all federal workers after President Trump mandated that they all come to work in person full time. Now, they have until next week to take that deal. Along with the money, they will retain benefits from their job.
Didn't take advantage of it. I mean, I get it. People want to keep their jobs. I understand. But the federal government, I believe, is being very gracious to employees, because most employees do not give you that amount of severance pay when you are being let go because of a reorganization, a turnaround, a transformation in the company. I'm just saying, I don't know what we want the federal government to do. Last month, before February 7th, February 6th, they were giving paid time off in the tune of months, and you keep all your benefits. Now they're saying we're going to give you $25,000 to resign. I'm just trying to understand. Now, many folks know me from the government contracting space. So I have to talk about, I've been hearing rumor mill about the small business programs are going away. That is so not true. I want you to be very careful about where you consume content. DEI and the small business programs are not synonymous. Let me say this again. DEI Diversity, equity, and inclusion programs, which our current president has forsaken those policies. He's issued executive orders against them. He is not on the DEI bandwagon. I know you may feel a variety of ways about that. And I understand whatever your position may be. However, DEI and the small business set-asides are not synonymous. So just really quickly on your screen, there are a few laws that protect the woman-owned small business programs, the Hub Zone programs, the 8A program, the service-disabled veteran-owned small business programs. These programs are not going away because the federal government has abandoned the DEI pursuit. Not going away. Programs are not going away as a result of the government's abandonment of DEI. So your programs are not going away as a result of this abandonment. That's all I got for you in this video. Now I want you to stay tuned. I want you to like, share, subscribe. If you're interested in government contracting content, definitely check me out on 8figuregovcon.com for information specific to the government contracting space. We have great programs, partnerships with Klarna and Afterpay. Definitely tap in if you want to be in this space. But before I go, one more thing I almost forgot. Before I go, for my folks who are doing business with the federal government as a prime or sub, this is not the opportunity to abandon ship. I honestly believe once the dust settles, there are going to be more opportunities for small business contractors than ever before, but there's always chaos before there's a great infusion of new opportunity. So I'm going to tell you to go in, take this time, revitalize your strategy, look at the things that you were doing, really fine-tune that value proposition, your marketing strategy. When the dust settles, be ready to keep moving into that direction based on the presidential budget that is set to come out here in a couple months, if not sooner. So look at the presidential budget, figure out where the opportunities are, and pivot your business based on where the opportunities are flowing. Get out of the red ocean and get into the blue ocean for those who understand blue ocean strategy. Get out of the red ocean and get into the blue ocean. But that's going to be making sure that you understand where the opportunities are flowing and reorganizing the business and pivoting in the direction of progress. But that's all I got for you in this video. Tap in, subscribe, like, share the videos so that the algorithm can keep moving and more people can find our content. And I'm going to see you in our next video. Until next time.